What's up everyone? Welcome back to the Poke Rage channel. And last episode we talked about the beginnings of Pokemon, how Satoshi Tajiri came up with the idea of Pokemon and how he got everything going. But obviously we all know that it all started on the Game Boy, but today we're going to talk about how it expanded from the Game Boy, how it became part of the TCG community, how it expanded into movies, how it expanded onto mobile devices, in the future. It's insane how much Pokemon has grown since its first thought back in 1996. So let's talk about this. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's go. So obviously back in 1996, Pokemon was first brought into the Game Boy world. That's where everybody first started playing Pokemon, and we're like, hey, what's a new idea that we can come up with? And then the Pokemon TCG was born. It was kind of like a way to bring the Pokemon from the video games into the real world, and I think that's what made everybody love Pokemon even more, because now you have an even better way to catch all of the Pokemon. Obviously with this came Pokemon battles, real life Pokemon battles that you could get with your friends. You didn't need a Game Boy, because I don't know how much Game Boys were back then, but I'm sure not everybody had a lot of money. But obviously this became a huge social phenomenon, and with people gathering at hobby shops and homes and creating tournaments just to see who was the actual best Pokemon trainer. Eventually in 1997, there was this contest, like an illustrator contest for Koro magazine, and the winner would get 20 copies of their illustrator card plus a copy of the Pikachu illustrator card, and that thing is the most expensive card in the world. There's only 40 copies of that card made, and the highest one that I've seen is about like $900,000 at an auction. It might be even more. I think maybe even like $1 million. But it's insane because you could only get them in Japan, and it's hard to even get a good grade. So if you're lucky to have one of those cards, you're sitting on a gold mine. You're rich. But also, even in 1998, when they released those cards to the winners, they even made, so this is kind of weird too, is they even made like a Pokemon TCG game for the Game Boy Color. And I'm like, why do you need, I get it, right? It's to make more money, but to go from, hey, we have this Pokemon game to trading cards to the trading card game on Game Boy Color. I don't know. I never played it. I never bought it. I only had red, yellow, and gold for the Game Boy. So it didn't really appeal to me. I'm like, why would I do this? Plus, I never played the TCG game. I was only in for collecting, so it didn't really make sense to me. But I'm sure they made enough money, or it's like, okay, we're gonna sell this, and you're gonna love it. So of course, with the Pokemon, trading card game and the video games, they're gonna make a TV show, and we all love the Pokemon, the original Pokemon TV show in the Kanto League with Ash, Misty, and Brock. This show continues to be made today, but we finally, just this year, got to see Ash win the championship to become the Pokemon Master. It took him so long. He's never aged a day in over 20 years or so. It's crazy, but I'm sure a lot of people were emotional when he finally did it. It was a pretty cool scene between him and Lance, so it was pretty fun to watch. But the fact that, there's over 1,200 episodes with this thing, and it just keeps going. I don't think it's ever gonna stop. I grew up watching this like the original. I think I watched through Johto League, and then I just kind of fell off of it. That's kind of like when I was entering high school, and I was just like, okay, all right, I'm a little over Pokemon right now. So yeah, they've had a couple of voice actors. I think there was like a surfaced video of the actor who did the most recent Ash voice. She was like crying watching like the last episodes, so it's pretty nice to see that she was obviously fully invested in it, and it's been a huge journey. She's been doing it for almost 20 years, which is crazy. But I always do like the fact that in the first episode there's always that fan theory that when he looks at Ho-Oh, which is crazy because obviously Ho-Oh isn't part of the original 151, that like his dream was to become like, or always be part of the Pokemon world, and that's why he never ages, because he's always wants to be 10 years old and always wants to be catching Pokemon. So little fun, crazy theory out there for that. So obviously with the success of the show came Pokemon, the first movie with Mewtwo Strikes Back. And I went and saw, and then obviously with the movie theater, they had those 4 promo cards. It was Pikachu, Electabuzz, Mewtwo, and Dragonite. I think I only had 3 of them, which sucks. But I'm sure you could find them. But, you know, again, more cash cow, right? Bringing in more stuff, more cards, more exclusive cards at movie theaters and stuff, which is fun. Before each movie, they had a fun little, like, mini episode or something, maybe like 10 minutes long. I think it was like Pikachu's Vacation, I think, came with the first one. I'm not 100% sure. You know, but it just goes to show you how much it's grown in, like, what, 2 years, from 96, from the original concept, to 98, to have the show, the trading card game, the movies. It's insane how popular Pokemon came. Well, it makes sense, right? So you have the movies, you have the shows, and then you're going into the store, you're going into Walmart or whatever, and then you just see Pikachu plastered on t-shirts and shoes, and it's everywhere, right? And it goes, you know, it always goes without saying, right? Something's popular, you're gonna slap it on clothing. But it's always fun. You got it in home decor, you got it in pencils, like back to school, like backpacks and lunch boxes. It's like, it was just everywhere. I don't even know if I know I had pencils. I had like Pokemon pencils and stuff, but I don't know if I had any like backpacks. I don't think so. I don't remember. So as the years went on, from there, obviously you just get more and more Pokemon sets. They got to come up with more Pokemon and blah, blah, blah. As time goes on, right, you have better technology. So with cell phones in 2016, Pokemon Go was launched, and that was obviously a huge success. It had its road bumps when it first came out. It was kind of a pain in the ass to play a little bit. Sometimes there was glitches. I mean, that shit's still going on today, which I don't play anymore because I just don't care to. But a lot of people still play that thing. They're still doing updates with it, which is, when Pokemon Go came out in 2016, it had over 100 million downloads in the first month, which is absolutely crazy. But you know, the whole point, I think, was to like encourage exercise and to get out and go explore your world, which, you know, if I was in my hometown, there's fucking nothing to explore there. So it's like you're stranded. You're not getting to see shit. So you definitely favored people who lived in like more like city areas and, you know, more population, I guess. So that's going to be it for this episode. Clearly we can see how much Pokemon has evolved, going from games to movies to education to clothing. It's everywhere, and I don't think it's ever going to go away. And it's fun because you can just pick it up. You know, you got kids that are like super young picking it up, and, you know, people our age who are grown up with it. It's universal for everybody to enjoy, which is nice. It's one of those franchises that's not just for one generation, so it's always fun to see what they're going to do next. Obviously we just saw Pokemon Sleep came out a couple weeks ago, so we'll see how well that does. I still kind of play that from time to time. So that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, guys. Next episode, we're going to be talking about the future of Pokemon and where it could potentially lead down the line. But if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to know when I upload, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.